Well, between the start of the show and right now, we have a tropical storm on our hands. The second one, number 2, Tropical Storm Beryl right now pushing its way across the Caribbean and could be in the Gulf of Mexico in the next couple of days. Of course, looking at that beautiful Friday night, that light cloud cover giving you an idea of how dry things are going to be getting as we make our way into the weekend. Now we're looking at the temperature change over the last 24 hours. Really the last couple hours going from 104 all the way down to 92, and it's the rate at which we cool. So over the last 5 hours, dropped about 12 degrees, if not a few less than that, as we make our way into tonight, into those 70s, which is going to be a good head start. But it's going to be a cooler day in those, again, lower 100s, looking for 10 degrees right now, maybe if not 6 to 3. We're seeing that 86 in El Dorado, 92 in San Angelo. That's the hot spot, but a good combination of 80s and 90s across the entire region. And humidity values have made their way up in that classic evening time pattern into those 30s when they were from in those teens. And dew points have stayed in those 50s and those 60s, but we could see some moisture push into the region by about that first weekend of July. I can't believe June is already over. Here's our high pressure as we make our way into the weekend. The tighter this gradient gets, the stronger that storm has the potential of wrapping around this high pressure like we saw with Alberto and push into this region, and then we'll see some of those residual effects make their way across the plain states into the Mississippi River Valley. But that high pressure is going to push right back. You can see the setup with it, with that low pressure that we're going to be watching for, that long wave trough to lift some of this moisture up into the atmosphere and then pull it off towards the east. Of course, we're looking at that stationary boundary as this high pressure is pushed down from the north, and we get a good idea of where that cold front's going to make its way through. This is where we're going to see the most intense storm activity, those concentrations of orange as that long wave trough pushes down from the Great Lakes, could push it back into Louisiana, and now we'll see if that isn't the extra kick it needs to push some of that tropical storm activity into the Concho Valley, and we could get a few drops of rain as a result. Here's the severe weather outlook, really just encompassing parts of Kansas, Nebraska, and making its way into Minnesota, where we're starting to see a lot of that tornadic activity. Again, seeing a tornado watch being issued for this region, parts of eastern Kansas, with some flash flooding with it, and then we're watching some of that cloud cover erupt across the entire region. And then off towards the east, still watching some of those thunderstorms fizzle out over Florida. We take you down to the tropics right now, where we see the good formation off there near Beryl, and then off towards my right shoulder, we have a good idea of that second invest area. When we talk about 94L, we see the trajectory of a couple of those models right now, one of them pushing it right up into the Gulf of Corpus Christi. And then, of course, we're looking off towards the west near Beryl right now, and its trajectory is it could make its way into a Category 1 by about Sunday, 9 p.m. or so, and then we'll see if it doesn't intensify as it gets a little bit closer. So tonight, down into those 70s, where we're going to see some of those breezier conditions pick up. Then tomorrow, up to about 102 or so. If you find yourself out there at the lake watching some of that drag boat racing or making your way out to the golf course, make sure you're taking plenty of sunscreen and drinking lots of water and finding good shady spots to take a good break. Stay out of that heat as much as you can, because it's only going to get hotter from there, but it won't get much cooler either as we continue to hold on to those triple digits. As we start that first week of June, we're really having our eye on those 4th of July conditions. Shouldn't affect anything, and as soon as the weekend rolls around for July, we're going to be watching that tropical potentially push its way up into this region where we have a good opportunity for some rain while those lows continue to hold strong in those mid-70s. Stay tuned. More up the break. You're watching KSAN News at 10.